Is the cryptocurrency market entering into a bear market? Are we in a bear market right now? Well, I believe the answer to both of those questions is no. And in today's video, I'm going to break down why I believe that is the case. My name is Lark. Every day I make videos talking about cryptocurrency investing. So if that's a topic you'd like to learn some more about, maybe just stay up to date with, they should definitely subscribe to the Lark Davis channel. Also, if you can take a quick second and tap on that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, that'd be super, super awesome. And obviously, anybody who'd like to receive a notification when I put out a new video, click on that notification bell. By the way, every single week, my team and I produce Wealth Mastery. This is a cryptocurrency investor report designed to help keep you ahead of the curve in this fast-moving market. We have DeFi tutorials, altcoin reviews, technical analysis, my portfolio updates, airdrops, token sales, tips, tricks, NFTs, and much, much more. All of that for less than $10 a week, or you can even sign up to our free version of the newsletter to get some great updates straight to your inbox as well. Just use the link down below to get started. Now let's just go ahead and dive headlong into this topic. So first, let's define what the heck is a bear market. Well, it is defined as a prolonged period of price decline, being down 20% or more from recent highs, and overall just negative sentiment in the market. Now, does this apply to us, this framework that we have from traditional markets? Are we in a prolonged decline? I mean, come on, guys, the all-time high was 5 weeks ago. Is that prolonged? I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily a prolonged decline. 5 weeks, though, in crypto is like 5 years in, normal life. At least it seems like that sometimes. Are we down over 20%? Yes, we are down over 20%. However, Bitcoin can go down 20% in one day. Most crypto assets can have a 20% daily drop. Like it ain't no big thing. So is that a good metric to use? Yeah, not really. But, we can apply that. And if we apply that, then yeah, everything's down over 20%. So you can take that as you will. Is the sentiment negative? Oh, you bet your butt it is. Holy cow, we've got a lot of negative sentiment. In fact, fear is leading the market. In fact, the sentiment is so low that yesterday, the market was as fearful as we were in December 2018, which I find just mind-blowing. Now, if you were not around back in 2018, basically, the bull market topped in December 2017. That's when we hit our previous all-time high price for Bitcoin, topped out at 20 grand. We spent a year of just the price sliding. So that is a prolonged price decline. That was a year of a downward trend with no higher highs anywhere in sight. We've already had a higher high for Bitcoin this year. Something to keep in mind there for you. And after a year where the price of Bitcoin had gone down 70%, what happened at the end of November? Well, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Satoshi Vision decided to have a Johnson measuring competition, and well, the price of Bitcoin dropped by 50% in the matter of just a few days. That was a big fear event. Now, why do we have the same levels of fear now in the market? I can understand, the big thing that happened, the big COVID crash back in 2020. Oh, it was a fear event. I understand that. It makes a lot of sense. Right now, we are at the same levels of fear as the big COVID crash and as the massive crypto puke event at the end of 2018. Why is there so much fear? Well, a lot of new money has entered the market, plain and simple. 50% of you have been here for less than a year, and I welcome you. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the party. I hope you're having fun in this crazy, crazy crypto market. It is a wild place to be hanging out, without a doubt. However, you also have to keep in mind that so many of those people you see on social media, in the comment section, on Twitter, on TikTok, all these places, they have never actually experienced a bear market in crypto. They will at some point if they stay in the game long enough. Don't worry, but this is not that time. The sentiment is as low as the bottom of the bear market in 2018. It is as low as the COVID crash, and really not much is happening. Yeah, sure, the price is down some. That's fine, that happens. But the sentiment is a very, very interesting thing here. So if we look at a traditional definition, we're kind of in a bear town sort of scenario. So the market is bearish at the moment. This is true. We have negative sentiment. We have prices down. We have a decline over a period of time, but I would not say this is a prolonged decline. And for reference here, it's important to understand this, Bitcoin is still only putting in a higher low. So look at this here. This course is back to July, higher low, higher low, higher low, and higher low. Here, we've actually defended our key area of support also right here around $42,000. You can see it was key resistance here, key resistance here, key resistance here. Found support here, hitting support again here. Pretty important area of price, and that's where we wicked down to last week. That's acting as an area of price support for us. So at a technical level, things really aren't as bad as the sentiment would have you believing. Now, if we lose this key line of support here, well, the bears could, wreak some havoc, let's say. I don't think it'd be great news losing $42,000. And on the flip side, if we can crack back above this line right here, or really just above $52,000, which you see is kind of the area here and here, then that would be a nice bit of bullish momentum coming back into the market and could help us reverse things around a little bit. Remember, the sentiment in this market just can flip like that, just like flipping a switch. It's crazy. Very bipolar cryptocurrency markets. Now let's talk about on-chain data. On-chain data remains bullish. Now, of course, I mentioned this yesterday, but this is the key on-chain indicator that you need to know. Bitcoin exchange balances continue dropping. The dips continue to be bought. We have had massive net outflows from exchanges, meaning that people are buying Bitcoin, taking it off exchanges, dumping in their hardware wallets. That's what's happening right now on these dip situations. Happened last week when we got down to 42K. It's happening again today on this dip. People continue to gobble up Bitcoin, adding to their long-term positions. People who believe that Bitcoin will be over $100,000 one day, that Bitcoin will go on to rival the market cap of gold and hit $500,000 per coin. People that believe that a Bitcoin will be worth $1 million one of these days. Those people are buying the dip, and they're doing it in a big fashion because, as we can see, the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges continues to go down. That's very bullish on-chain data. So have the fundamentals of cryptocurrencies changed? Have the fundamentals of Bitcoin changed, right? We talk about Bitcoin as being the tip of the spear here. No, the fundamentals of Bitcoin have not changed. I mean, come on, seriously, we just hit a hash rate all-time high like 2 days ago. The fundamentals are stronger than ever, but when the price goes down, your perception of those fundamentals tends to change along with it. And of course, the NFT space is taking off. The DeFi space has never been better or bigger. The games have never been cooler or more adopted. The metaverse stuff has never been more interesting and exciting. All this stuff, the layer one blockchains, they've never had more transactions, more users, all this stuff's going crazy. The fundamentals, the entire cryptocurrency space are just mooning. Yet the prices are not, because that happens because we go in cycles. And look at this here as well. We have big money understanding the fundamentals of the game. Big money buying crypto, buying Bitcoin. This is Canada's Bitcoin ETF. We can see here that there's been a big spike over the last few weeks with another 4,000 Bitcoin added onto the Bitcoin ETF. That means there was 4,000 Bitcoin worth of spot demand. People, of course, really want to get spot Bitcoin ETFs. Now, that's not all institutional money, obviously. There's also a lot of retail money coming in here, but institutions are also getting exposure to spot Bitcoin ETFs via these Canadian ETF products. Then we had this happen today. Massively, massively bullish story. Mubadala, I have no idea how to say that, but it's Mubadala. Mubadala, the UAE Sovereign Wealth Fund, with $250 freaking billion of assets under management. That's $250 billion, guys. They've announced that they're going to start investing in crypto. I personally think that it's very considerate of us to arrange this nice market dip to allow this sovereign wealth fund to come in and buy up some cheap Bitcoin, buy up some cheap Ethereum. Because that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. They're going to come up and scoop up all of these assets on the cheap. It's a big deal. Another sovereign wealth fund announcing they're getting in the game. Of course, Singapore's sovereign wealth fund has been in crypto for a while. This is a new one added on to the party. It's a lot of money they have under management. Even Even a couple percentage points being allocated to crypto assets would be massive. So to sum it up here a little bit for you, fear's high, prices are down, but the fundamentals are stronger than ever. On-chain data looking very hot. Technicals also holding up pretty well. So what's going on here? What's going on? If this is not the start of a multi-year bear market, as some people seem to believe that it is, then what is going on? Well, I believe that we are in a consolidation and accumulation period. How long is that going to last? Can the prices go lower? I don't know. Probably. Probably the prices can go lower. How long can it last? Well, there's that old saying, the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. Could last a while. But just because we are in a consolidation period, we're in an accumulation period, does not equate to a multi-year bear market starting to form. Look back to July. That was also not the start of a multi-year bear market. It was a great consolidation and accumulation period after a massive run-up. These things happen. Now, the article I've linked to here actually covers off a Bloomberg intelligence report, basically coming to a similar thesis that we are right now in a consolidation period for the cryptocurrency markets. We are in an accumulation period for the cryptocurrency markets, and that they are still calling for a $100,000 Bitcoin in 2022. It's coming. It's the question of when, not if, we get a $100,000 Bitcoin. And of course, when we have a $100,000 Bitcoin, that means Ethereum is probably going to be at $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. All your altcoins are going to be going to the moon around the same time as that happening. So it'll be a big deal. And it's coming. It's just a question of when, not if. So that is where my thoughts are right now. We are in a consolidation period for the markets. And look, the markets, they do this on a regular basis. Now, did you believe that it was the end of the world, everything was over back in July? Right when price got down to $29,000. Pretty scary times. Or were you out there buying the dip? I was. Were you? I know some of you guys were. And what has the markets so spooked this week? Well, there's always something to point your finger at. Usually much more serious things. And I don't know, depending on how serious you think Fed tapering is, well, maybe this is the thing you're pointing your finger at this week. But the Federal Reserve is likely to announce more tapering, or an acceleration of the tapering program. And that is spooking some people. Now, here's the thing you need to know. The Federal Reserve started tapering last month, so they reduced their 120 billion monthly asset purchases down to 105 billion, further $15 billion reduction in December, so it's down to 90 billion. They are expected to announce on Wednesday that they're going to accelerate this program, basically reducing by 30 billion monthly until they get to zero. So essentially, same result as we were going to get, except 2 months earlier. So what's the big deal? What's the big deal? Come on, it was going to happen anyway. Let the Fed taper. Here's the facts. Inflation remains stupidly high, and inflation's probably going to keep high for a while. I remember last year, it was a Stanley Druckenmiller. He was saying inflation's going to go between 5 to 10%. It's going to absolutely soar, and I'm buying Bitcoin because that Bitcoin at the time was around $20,000. I think maybe even a little less. May have been just before we hit our new all-time highs. But he was saying that, and, you know, of course, people are, oh, that's crazy. We're not going to see inflation that high. The Fed said it's going to stay at 2%. Okay. Well, the data is in for November, 6.8% inflation. Looks like Stanley was right, and it's not over yet. It's not over. December could be higher. Negative rates also remain a very real possibility for U.S. markets. We already have negative rates in a lot of countries around the world. Obviously, we talk about U.S. markets, what the Fed's doing, what the USA is doing, what's happening to U.S. rates, because the dollar is the standard for global money. Right? It is the global reserve asset. It's the number one traded Forex. And of course, what happens in the US markets tend to have a reverberating effect around the world. So yes, the Fed is tapering, but look at what is really going on here. Even if the dollar gets bullish in the short term because of the tapering, inflation is still a massive problem. Negative rates are still a real possibility. And even if they're not negative, they're near zero anyway. So who's buying that crap? Bonds, man. Anyway, my final thoughts here for you. I am not an oracle. I'm just a dude at the end of the day talking about cryptocurrencies on the internet. If you really believe that this is a new multi-year bear market that's starting to form up and that we're going to see 99% reduction of prices of key cryptocurrencies, then you should be selling your cryptocurrencies. Just go on, sell it. Come back at the top of the next cycle to buy my bags. I will appreciate the exit liquidity. Personally, I'm not going anywhere. I will still be here making content and investing in 10 years. However, I must say it's really easy for me to ride out these downturns in the markets because I've been through many of them before, which is nice, but also I understand how to prepare for them. I've diversified my portfolio out into things like stocks and precious metals. I have used the market pumps to take profits on my altcoins, as I'm saying constantly to do. And I've done that. And I've got a nice cash position that I use to do farming with, that I use to do lending with, to create constant income. If your portfolio is not to that point yet, keep striving. Get your portfolio to that point, because it means that you can have a resilient portfolio that makes it much easier to ride out all this volatility in the market. Because here's the deal for you. If you're a cryptocurrency investor, you have to get used to volatility. You have to get used to stomach churning events happening in the market. Brutal crashes, massive pumps, insanity, just generally in the crypto market. There's so much crazy stuff happening here. You got to come to peace with it and learn how to make volatility your friend. And part of making volatility your friend is planning your portfolio to be resilient enough to be able to deal with all this stuff. Short term, we are in a bearish trend for the cryptocurrency market. I do not believe that means we are at the start of a new multi-year bear market. I will enjoy this consolidation time. I will enjoy this accumulation time by doing exactly that, accumulating. Anyway, just my 2 Satoshis for the day. Your question: am I completely freaking wrong? Is this the start of a new multi-year bear market? I've been hitting the hopium a little bit too long. It's all over. I'm blind. I can't see it. Hit me up down below if you believe that's the case, or do you agree with me that this is all just part of the plan? It's an accumulation period, a consolidation period. We'll get back to high markets in the not so distant future. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video, and peace out till next time.